Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and I'm a registered dietitian. There are a lot of content creators on this app and on others, always trying to say that you should be choosing organic foods over conventional. In fact, they might even try to scare you into thinking that organic foods are healthier for you. There is also this organic produce list called the Dirty Dozen that claims if you avoid the Dirty Dozen, you will help to protect yourself and your family from pesticides. But is any of this really true? Should you be spending your money on organic foods? Is organic any safer or more nutritious than its conventional counterparts? Let's get into it. So let's first talk about what the term organic actually even means. I'm sure you've seen the term or the organic label plastered on certain foods or ingredient lists. And this term organic is regulated by the U.S. Department of Agriculture or the USDA. So different food items like produce, meat, dairy, beverages, condiments, or even processed foods that have multiple ingredients can all be labeled as organic or labeled as made with organic ingredients. But I really want to touch on produce specifically in this video because we are also going to be discussing the Dirty Dozen, which references organically grown produce. So according to the USDA, produce can be called organic if it's certified to have grown on soil that had no prohibited substances applied for 3 years prior to harvest. And prohibited substances include most synthetic fertilizers or pesticides. So this does not mean that organic produce is pesticide free. It basically just means that organic farmers can't use all the tools in the toolbox. Now, this does not mean that you should avoid all produce because it has pesticides and pesticides are bad. There is a very detailed risk assessment that comes with farmers using pesticides on their crops. And as I'll mention later, the amount of pesticides found on our food is far below the level that has been shown to be harmful. Also, if pesticides weren't used in farming, farmers would often lose large amounts of crops due to pests and disease. Organic farming is often much less sustainable because it uses up more land than conventional farming. So if you are choosing to eat organic because it is better for the environment, I challenge you to get curious about if that's actually supporting your values. So, organic produce is no safer or no more nutritious than its conventional counterparts. And as a dietitian, there aren't any foods that I recommend you choose organic versus conventional. In fact, I often recommend choosing conventional because when you choose organic, it's often going to be way more expensive. So now that we've discussed what organic means when it comes to produce, let's talk about this Dirty Dozen list. So the Dirty Dozen is a list of 12 fruits and vegetables determined by the EWG, the Environmental Working Group, that we should, according to them, eat organic due to the pesticides. The Dirty Dozen list and its sister, the Clean 15, come out every spring, and we have to ask, are they actually evidence-based or just a marketing ploy? You've probably already gathered where I stand on this, but let's talk about why you don't need to worry about the Dirty Dozen. According to the CDC, only 1 in 10 Americans eats the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables. And scare tactics like the Dirty Dozen list do not help this cause. Organically grown produce is known for being much more expensive than conventionally grown produce. And it's actually been reported that lower income consumers are less likely to purchase any produce due to these misleading messages perpetuating that organic produce is healthier and safer. These fear-based messaging tactics evoke concern around the safety of conventional produce, and this has shown to have a big impact on the likelihood of lower-income consumers to purchase any fruits and vegetables. And there are so many health benefits that come from eating fruits and vegetables. I know that's very cliche coming from a dietitian, but it's so true. Fruits and vegetables are nutrition powerhouses, and eating the rainbow will increase your intake of phytochemicals and antioxidants, which can help to reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and more. So any list or guide or program that discourages individuals from eating vegetables is not dietitian approved. Along with that, the EWG is extremely biased. It is funded by large organic farms, and they cherry pick their data to meet their agenda. This Dirty Dozen list also does not even tell you which pesticides are present, or even the amount of the pesticide present. It just tells you like the total number of pesticides on each fruit or vegetable. And my response to anybody who says that certain ingredients or chemicals or anything else are dangerous, toxic, poisonous, you cannot call those toxic or poisonous without mentioning the dose at which it becomes toxic or poisonous. So the EWG obviously recommends that you eat organic produce, right? But when they produce this Dirty Dozen list, they don't even test organic produce. And remember, organic crops also use pesticides. So how can they know that the organic produce has less pesticides or that it's any safer if they don't even test them? On the other hand, this conventional produce is tested, and it's been shown to not have any harmful levels of pesticides. In fact, a woman like myself could eat 400 servings of strawberries or over 18,000 servings of kale without any effect, even if the strawberries or kale had the highest levels of pesticide residue recorded for by the USDA. And this brings up another point. This Dirty Dozen list does not take into account how far below the tolerance levels these detections of pesticide residue is. In fact, as these lists come out year after year, the data is actually showing us that our produce is very safe from a pesticide residue perspective. The residues are being detected at hundreds to thousands of times below the tolerance level. And remember, this is for the conventional produce. Organic produce also uses pesticides, but it's not even being tested. So while it's likely also very safe from a pesticide residue perspective, how would we know? Because the Dirty Dozen is only testing conventional, not organic. So bottom line, the Dirty Dozen Clean 15 is not dietitian approved. It is just a scare tactic from a biased organization. If you are trying to decide between spending $8 on a container of organic strawberries versus not getting them at all, I actually recommend going with neither of those options and just getting the conventional for a lot cheaper. The best way for you to eat fruits and vegetables is the way that you are able to eat fruits and vegetables and the way that you enjoy eating fruits and vegetables. Fresh, canned, frozen, organic, conventional. Any way that you can incorporate more fruits and vegetables is going to be great for you. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to another diet culture, wellness culture review. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something and you enjoyed it. And also be sure to subscribe so you can see when I post new videos like this one. See you guys next time. Bye.